Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your interest in beginning the process of writing a new two-year Coast Guard Maritime Transportation Authorization Bill. I look forward to working with you again and with the committee members in the same successful that we've had in the past. I'd also like to welcome our witnesses, the U.S. Coast Guard, Maritime, and the Federal Maritime Commission, Maritime Administration. It's my expectation that this hearing will be but only the first of several exchanges as we work collaboratively to build and shape U.S. maritime policy to meet the many challenges and uncertainties in the world today. In fact, we are in a very, very turbulent and challenging time in the maritime world. Foremost, I remain extremely concerned about the reported $1.3 billion, 14% cut to the Coast Guard budget. The new administration has floated it. If they're serious, it's a pretty good example about the cost, knowing the cost of everything, but the value of nothing. There's little doubt that the administration heard the outcry from members of Congress. Mr. Chairman, you were leading all of that. However, if the administration thought the release of its fiscal year 18 skinny budget would somehow allay our concerns, no, didn't happen. We remain deeply, deeply concerned about any cut to the Coast Guard. If there's perhaps one thing we could do to respond to the uncertainties that we confront in the maritime domain, it would be to make certain that the Coast Guard is fully funded, even at a higher level than last year. Furthermore, if we are to be sincere in our commitments to protect our maritime borders, as well as to ensure the reliability, safety, and security of the U.S. maritime supply chain, we'll need to work tirelessly to prevent any short-sighted budget policy becoming a reality. I believe this is probably our first and foremost task ahead of us, but there are many, many others. For one, the global oversupply of container ships and the bottoming out of shipping rates have created turmoil in the global container shipping market, bankruptcies, mergers, acquisitions, and on of this going on at a dizzy pace. We need to know how will this transformation affect robust competition, fair pricing for the maritime transportation services and foreign trade. In addition, what collateral effects on U.S. marine terminal operators, escort tugs, and other marine service providers will result from the alliances and all of the shifting that's going on in that sector. The status and future of the U.S. flag fleet in the international trade also remains a great concern, especially whether this fleet and its credentialed mariners that are on board will remain capable of providing the reliable, secure sea lift capacity for our military. I bring our attention to last week's hearing with the Transportation Command and the concerns that they expressed about that. In closing, Mr. Chairman, we must begin now to rebuild our merchant marine and the U.S. flag presence in global shipping. The United States has been, remains, or should remain, a maritime nation. Our future, our prosperity, and our security depends upon it. I'm optimistic that the Build America, Buy America mantra of this administration applies equally to the U.S. maritime industry, and, assuming so, I extend my hand in cooperation to help that come to pass. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like also to enter into the record a report from my Maritime Advisory Committee that met out in Vallejo, California at the California State University Maritime Academy. If I could put that in the record for the edification of not only myself, but the staff and anybody else that would like to access that. Many different recommendations that they made, some of which I'm sure will find its way into legislation. With that, I yield back.